Nom 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 nom. Ah, boink. Oi.
Hello everyone! Welcome to Tikva Hobbies. My name is Paulina and I'm a knitaholic and, can I say crochet-holic? Well, anyway, in today's video I'm gonna show you how to make this lovely sunglasses case. Actually, it's the first time I've been crocheting in two colors in a row, or around actually, and I pretty much enjoyed it. And I'm totally happy with the result. The case is worked in rounds and this cover part is worked in rows. There is a button to secure it. How did it all start? First I have this case which I made a couple of years ago. It uses just a regular button. The size is just fine for my sunglasses. And I decided to try and make a similar size one, but with a pattern and using a button to secure it. The only thing, I might go for a smaller size button. For this case, it looks good like this as well. I'll see. First I made the case which is just a little bit smaller. And the sunglasses fit there pretty well, but it's a little bit tight, so I'm storing my hooks in it now. So if you would like to use it as a storage for your hooks, you're welcome. This is how the sunglasses fit inside. Well, like this, pretty nicely. And I might go for a smaller size button, but I need to go and buy it anyway. And I am so eager to show it to you that I need to do it right now. I've got quite a detailed video which you could watch right now. Yes, the other part of the video is going to be a tutorial. Plus, I've made a PDF pattern which you could download on Ravelry in English, which has all the charts and schemes and everything. And to say thank you, please press the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Well, you could comment here, and on Ravelry I'll be really pleased to see your comments, and if you've enjoyed it, please react. So, to the tutorial. We're going to use a 2mm crochet hook. I've got this simple one and cotton yarn. I'm using this brand, it's called Vita Cocore, that's the name of the yarn, and the colorways are 4328 for the main color and 4332 for the secondary color. So like this. So this is the main color and this is the secondary color. It's 240 meters in 50 grams, so the yarn is rather thin, or it's 262 yards if you are more familiar with this metric system. The yarn you need to use shouldn't split very much, so that you feel comfortable while crocheting. Okay, let's start our work. We start with chaining 24 stitches here for this size, and the first 4 rounds will make the bottom part of our case. It needs to be solid, so we work it in single crochets to make it just more durable, to make it denser. Chain 24 stitches with size 2mm hook. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to skip the first chain stitch. It's going to be our first one, and work 2 single crochets in the second stitch from the hook. Let's focus. Okay, so we skip the first and walk into the second. 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Okay, to make it simpler for us later, we could insert a pin, yes, or just stitch marker into the first stitch which we skipped. So 1 single crochet, 2, and here it is, this stitch. We insert the marker right into the loop, so that at the end of the round we find it easily to join in the round. Let's go on. We work single crochets in all of these stitches up to the end. Might be a good idea to weave in the end as we go, not to do it at the end. Well, how about you? Do you like weaving in tails? I don't, especially if it's cotton and the stitches are rather dense, so we just put it close to our chain stitches and walk into the stitch and below the thread. In this case it's secure, and at the end we'll just need to cut this tiny loose end. It will all be nice without any weaving in at the end. Yeah, cotton fabric is rather dense, and if you do it with a needle it could be rather, well, such a pain. You need some extra tools sometimes, yeah, to pull the needle through the stitches. Can't say I like it, so if we can weave in the ends as we go, why don't we do it? This one is the last one. We need to work 3 single crochets here in the middle of our round. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pull this end a bit later, because now it's easier if it's not like shrunk. So we've worked 3 single crochets in here, and we go on the other side. So let's keep on working single crochets. 1, 2. We pick the other loop of the stitches. We picked the first one as we went here, and on the other side we pick the other loop. It's not hard unless you work your stitches very, very, very densely. If your tension is very tight, it's not a bad thing. For a case it needs to be not sloppy, but not over tight, or you might struggle. I tend to be a rather tight knitter and crochet, but here I'm doing my best not to make it over tight. That's why I'm using, by the way, 2mm hook, because otherwise I would probably take 175 for such a thread. But in here 2mm is nice. Might be a bit trickier in the first round, then it's gonna be way easier when you pick both loops of the thread of the stitches. Okay. What's the weather like, by the way, where you are right now? Would be interesting to know, because here I really hoped it would be warm and sunny and a sunny day for me to record, but it's rather cloudy and it's been raining for like an hour and a half, I would say, and that's why I need to use some artificial light, some lamp. I hoped that I could do without it, but no, alright. Anyway, so I took off the stitch marker and we join right in this stitch where it was. Okay, the thread might be splitting a bit. Yep, done. That's why I say that you need to use the thread which doesn't split very much. So this one, of course, if you see, it could split. Like most yarns could split unless it's a cord, but it should be spun, well spun, twisted. Okay, so the second round. Okay, focus please. We chain 1 and walk 3 single crochets, 1 2 3, into the first single crochet of the previous round, 1 2 3. So we increase 2 stitches here, chain 1, and now we insert the hook in both loops. Might be here not so easy at the beginning. I still worked them a bit tighter than I should have. Okay, I could do it. If you can't and you don't have enough patience, struggle with this a bit, you could insert in one loop. Oh, done. 1 single crochet, 2 and 3, and maybe try to work them a little bit looser, so in the next round it's going to be easier. So now we work single crochets up to the middle of our round. I forgot to place the marker. Let's do it again. It's gonna make it way easier. 1 2 3 our single crochets, and here is the stitch we need to join at the end. Alright, so we need to find the middle stitch. So the central one seems to be this one. So I work one more single crochet. Okay. Oh, it's a bit tight. And in the central one again we work, focus please, work 3. 1, 2, 3 single crochets. So 1, 2 and 3. Super. And keep on working single crochets up to the end of the round. Now it's pretty easy. Okay, so again we take off this marker and join in the round. And we shorten both stitches if I can. Oh, it's pretty tight again. I'll help with a nail. First. And the second. Got it. Again, you may join using only one of the loops of the stitch, it's alright. Just my preference. Okay, so 2 rounds done, so half the bottom. Basically, we're gonna repeat the same routine, so we increase, in the third round we knit 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we work 3. Keep on, and again in the middle stitch we work 3 single crochets. Pretty simple. So we've come to the middle of the round, and it looks like this is our middle stitch, and we work 3 single crochets just as we did in the previous round, and 3, and keep on working up to the end of the round. 1 more round and the fun will begin. I can't say I've worked with 2 colors in 1 round much before. Actually, the first case which I tried was my first time, and at first I found it rather hard to figure out how to use 2 colors at the same time and not to get them all tangled. I had to untangle them every couple of minutes probably. But then I just thought that, okay, we need to separate them, put them separately. There must be a way. And I figured it out all by myself. It's not hard. I'm gonna show you pretty soon. By the way, do get irritated by all this clinking metal sounds. I do it sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Okay, we don't need to walk here. It's our like final single crochet of the round. Yes, time to join. Again, if you are a beginner and you want to make sure that you don't have any mistakes as you go, you might need to count the number of single crochets you've walked. Make sure that you have the same number as the number on the chart. I just trust myself more and could do without it. If we look at the fourth round, final one of our bottom part, we do the same. We walk 2 single crochets, then in the third one we walk 3, and here we repeat the same thing. In the middle one, in the central one, we walk 3 single crochets. Chain 1, time to join in the round. And I'm gonna use both threads, both loops of the stitch. Voila. If you join the hook a bit like this here, it could be easier. Yay! We're ready with the bottom part of our case. You see it's relatively flat. It keeps a bit folding a little bit. It's alright. It's not a big deal. The main thing is that these parts are flat and it's going to be like this once we proceed walking. And in this round, in round number 5, we start walking with color. So we start walking our second chart. I hope you could see pretty well that it has 2 colors. Here I used red and black ones. These are color coded in the picture, in the chart. I had to use like colored pens. I decided that I didn't need to print it in color. Well, never mind. Well, the thing is that the chain stitches now are going to be like 1 double crochet, yes, so they will count in this scheme. So if the colors change, they will also change color if it's necessary. The black ones here represent our secondary color. I'm going to use this Bordeaux variation, and the red ones are our main color, this pink one. What we need to remember is that our main color is going to be closer to us and our secondary color is going to be further away from us, and we should bear it in mind. In this case, we won't have to untangle the threads. As simple as that. The main color closer to us and the secondary color further away. I've got my main color in the basket on the floor, and the secondary will be here, because I'm not gonna need it that often and so much. I'm gonna need much less of that color, so it could be on the table in here. Okay, so here we go. We need to somehow start with the thread with the other color as well. As you can see, we start with chain 2 stitches in the main color, work 3 double crochets also in the main color, chain 2, and while working these first 3 double crochets, yes, in the main color, we're going to do just the same thing as we did when we hit that tail in the first round. So we place our secondary thread next to our stitches and we start weaving it in. One double crochet, 2, so we insert the hook into the stitch and below the thread and weave it in. We're going to do it all the way while working in 2 colors. The thread, the color which we are not using, is going to be woven in, hidden inside the stitches. Well, it might be a little bit visible. If you just pull it, it's not that thin. It might be a little bit visible, so please control your tension. So we worked 2 and 3. Okay, that's also an important moment. So look, the secondary thread is at the back and the main one is at the front. So it's the 3rd double crochet in the main color, and when we finish it, we need to introduce the other thread. We need to finish these 2 stitches with the other thread. You see? So you finish it in the light, this pink color, and the next chained stitch is the Bordeaux one. It's important, if you have the double crochet in another color, next you finish your previous one in this other color. It's necessary to remember. So now we work 2 double crochets in the Bordeaux one, in the secondary color, and we have this color always at the back and the pink one at the front. The pink one goes next to the stitches, so one, and we need to finish the second one with the main color. Okay, 2. We finish with the main color, we pick it from the front and finish it. Might need to pull it a bit to make it nice and, well, if not tight, at least neat. And we work 8 double crochets in the main color. Make sure that the secondary color is hidden inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in the last one, in the 8th, we finish it with the secondary color. We pick it from the back. Make sure you pick it from the back, not from the front, otherwise you start twisting the colors and it could be a mess, believe me. So we've picked it and work 2 double crochets in this color, 1 and 2, and we finish the second one with the main color. Once you get the techniques, like the basics, it will all be pretty easy. Now we pick the main color and work again 8 double crochets in the main color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and in the 8th one pick the thread from the back and finish it with the darker color. Make sure that you always hide the other color inside the double crochets. Don't forget to do it, or you will have some kind of loose threads on the other side, and we don't want it. Of course, it's not the thing that you wear on both sides. Still, if we can make it neat, why not do it? See, they're not tangled. This one at the front and the secondary color, contrasting color, is at the back. Basically, it's as simple as that. Next, you need to follow the chart. So you finish the round, you join in using like slip stitch, chain 2, and do the same thing, but you see these darker colors, they go in here, making the sides of like diamonds here, right? So it's not difficult, it's the same thing. So when you change color, you finish the previous double crochet with another color, with the other color which you're gonna be using in the next double crochet, and that's it. Basically, the thing I'm gonna show next is when you come to chain 2 stitches at the start of the round with another color. I'll show this. I believe that you could do rounds 6, 7 and 8 on your own. I realized that I forgot to show how to deal with this loose end of the other color. We do just the same thing we did before. So we place this end next to the stitches, so the color that we're working in, this end we need to weave in, yes, these are all placed next to the stitches, and we weave them in both 2 threads as we go here. 1, okay, let's pull it a bit, not much, could always pull it a bit more once we're done. 2, 3, and so on. So up to the end of the round, then you could pull this tail a bit and cut it either later or right now if you're afraid you might forget about it, so that we don't need to weave in ends at the end. Alright, row 8 we have chain 2 in the main color, and then we've got the double crochet in the different color. So we chain 1 in the main color. Please focus. Come on. Yeah, okay, we chain 1 in the main color, and then we proceed in the other color, right? So we could walk the double crochet in here, in this Bordeaux color. Change the thread and go on. I'll show the start of the next round as well. Alright, now round number 9. We're finishing number 8 now, and time to start number 9. How we do it? So we need to chain 2 in the darker color. So I'm gonna change the color, pick the darker from the back and join using the darker color. Just a moment. Okay, and I join in using the darker color. Chain 1 and then chain 2 using the lighter color, so that when I walk the double crochet now, it's in the lighter color, in the main color. And you see that the first 2 stitches are the darker one, and then we continue with the main color. Well, that's what it looks like now. You see we stopped increasing when we finished the bottom, and now it's flat and it starts looking like a case, the beginning of it. Now please proceed until you reach your desired length. The first rounds up to round 12 are walked like this, then you repeat rounds from 5 to 12. This is our pattern repeat, by the way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds high, and it's 10 stitches wide. So we have in our round 6 repeats of 10 stitches. If you want to make your case smaller, well, just in case you need to do it, you could decrease it by 2 stitches of the main color. Yes, so this will make 6 plus 2, 8 stitches. 8 stitches and 6 repeats. This makes 48 stitches instead of 60. This is what I did for my smaller case, but it's a little bit small for my liking, for my glasses. So now I'm working on this 60 stitch one, which fits, I believe, most sunglasses, unless you have like really huge ones. Should be fine for most models. So please proceed, repeating rounds from 5 to 12. Well, I'm going probably to walk up to round 29 as I pointed here, or maybe a bit longer, we'll see. Anyway, see you when I'm through with rounds up to round 29. Well, hooray! I'm done with my case, and I'm going to explain how I worked the cover part. I worked rounds in pattern from 5 to 29. Again, you need to make sure that your sunglasses fit well, and if you are not sure that you have enough length, you might like finish this diamond and work, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows more. This will add extra an inch, about an inch, like 2 centimeters. This will definitely be enough if your sunglasses are a bit larger, like I mean wider. What we do next, so we finish the pattern, preferably finish with this where the lines join and 2 contrasting color double crochets are next to each other. Then we do the following. So this is the beginning of the round for me. I cut the secondary color thread, leaving like maybe 3-4 centimeters. Then let me show it on the chart. It's gonna be better, I guess. So this is where we finished the previous round. I cut the secondary color, as I say, and placing it next to the stitches, I started walking not in this direction, yes, not to the left, but I turned my work. How did I turn it? Well, counterclockwise, I could say, yes, and I started walking in that direction. So like this, yeah, facing this side, and I started walking in this direction. First, I made a couple of slip stitches, so I joined in here and then here, just to make a little bit space for the round which we're going to work at the very end, to make the edges look nice and smooth. So I walked 2 slip stitches, chained 2, and I walked 28 half double crochets. Then again I chained 2 stitches and walked the very same row, yes. Don't forget that here, when we chain 2 stitches, we don't count them as one of the half double crochets, so we work into every half double crochet of the previous row. And in such a way we walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows, and in row number 10, which is totally going to be row 39, we we chain 1 stitch, walk 1 single crochet, then half double crochet, and walk the greater part of this row in double crochets, and the last 2 stitches are going to be half double crochet and 1 single crochet. Why are we doing this? To make these edges look a bit curved. You see, they are just a little bit curved, so just like it more this way, yes, if the edges are slightly curved. We finish this row 39 with 1 single crochet, and then we turn work. We turn work like this, chain 1 stitch, and start walking in single crochets all over. Well, just we walk here along the side part, yeah, so along the side part we walk the central part here, a row of, continuing this round of single crochets, we walk here and we walk here on the top. What we need to remember about the fabric is, so first we cut the secondary color, right, in the first row of this cover, and that thread of secondary color, like 3-4 centimeters, go along the stitches, like as we did, just as we did here in the case itself, to make, just to hide it, yes, nobody likes weaving in tails. Then what I did next, to make this fabric a bit sturdier, so if I walked just in 1 thread, this would make the case itself a little bit thicker than the cover, and I don't want it. You see, then the edges might start curling more than they do right now, and I would just feel like, if you touch, you could feel the difference. Now you can't, because I did it in a bit different way. What you need to do is you pull the thread from inside your skein. It could be a bit messy, but if you find like the very center, it shouldn't be. Or if you have a spare skein of the same color, you could simply use it. And we do just what we did the whole way through. We work these half double crochets and we place the thread of the same color next to the stitches and weave it in, just like we did with the secondary or the main color, depending on which stitch it was here. This will make the fabric the same thickness as the fabric of the case itself, and I love it much more. Just look how solid it is. Yes, it's amazing. Yes, that it's basically the same thickness. I strongly recommend that you use the same color, because even if we see that, well, it's a pattern, if we look closely it might be a little bit visible, I mean the secondary color. So I do not recommend you do it here. I've tried and didn't like it, so please use the thread of the same color. And that's it. At the end you've got just one tail which you need to weave in. All the others at the start we've already weaved them in. You may, if you haven't cut them, you might clip them, or if you would like to wash the case, you could do it after that. If you need to wash it, by the way, it might be a good idea to see if the colors leave us any stains. So you see these are rather contrasting colors. So if I were you, I would probably soak a little bit of thread in water and see if it gives color or not to the water, if the water gets colored beforehand, yeah, before working. Well, basically this is it. The last thing you need to do is to sew the button. Yes, I still might go for a smaller one. And that's it. If you don't want to use the button like this, if you want to use a regular button and need to have a buttonhole, what you do then? It's a slightly different case, but I'm going to show you on this one. So decide where you want to place your button, in which row exactly, and leaving like, no, walk half the row, yes, leaving like 2 maybe stitches from the center, and here you chain 4 stitches, skip 4 stitches here, and continue walking the row. And in the next row you walk 4 stitches right below these chained 4 stitches, and this will make a buttonhole. Instead of 4 stitches you might go for probably 5 or 6, depending on the size of your button. So if you need to use a button like this, please make sure to buy it in advance to see that everything fits nicely. Well, this is it. I hope you enjoyed the video and you are inspired to work such a case for your sunglasses. It's summertime and high time to have lovely accessories. Thank you for watching this video. Thumbs up if you liked it, and please comment in the comment section below. And if you need to download the pattern, it's in the info box right below the video, the link to my Ravelry profile where you could download this pattern for free. Have a nice day and see you in the next video. Bye!